All right, guys, welcome to your 17th episode of this series, Web Design 101. So, in this episode, we are going to look at how we can structure our web page using containers and some element that was introduced in HTML5. So, we've already looked at div and also span, which I made mention of some of the features that they have. So in the previous version of HTML, it was hard for us to actually structure our codes. So what they did in HTML5 is that they introduced some few elements that can help us to section our code into a nice component. So we are going to look at something like header, then we can look at something like nav, then we can also look at footer, then we can also look at aside. Okay, then we can also look like div. Okay, so all these elements are actually they are containers. They don't have a direct effect on a text or a content on our web page unless you style it using the CSS. So I'll use header. I'll first of all use header, and this header is different from the head over here, and also is different from heading. They are three different things together. Don't confuse with them. So inside this header, I am going to give an H3 and say that header, right? Then after that, I will leave a space here, give a comment, and give a right aside like this. Good. So I'll give an aside element, then I will specify H4, then I'll put aside over there. Good. Then we have another element. I'll give a comment before that, and I'm going to say section. So there is another element known as section. Okay. So I'm going to give H3 again, then say section. Good. Then the last one, I'm going to give comment and say footer. Then I'll give footer. The O is 2. So footer, then H3, then I'm going to say copy, then ampersand, sorry, ampersand, copy, then I'm going to say footer. Okay, good, something like this. So I'm going to save this, Control S, then go back to my folder. So I have these guys: header, aside, section, and footer. So I'll go to my head, I'll locate the head inside the document, then I'll open the style element. I'm going to write some few CSS code. Good. So I'm going to call the header as uh, an element. Then I'm going to give it a bag. I'm going to first of all give it a weight of automatic. So I'm going to say that the weight should automatically fit the screen that we are opening the web page from. Then I'll give a height of 200 px. Then I'll give it a background color of teal like this. Good. So I'll give it a color itself as white. Control S to save. Then I'll go back, then refresh the page. So I have something like this. Okay. So we're actually trying to section our web page so nicely so that we can make it to make navigation very easy for us. So back to the course. So first of all, I have to collapse all the margins over here, all these white spaces, I have to, collapse all of them. And I think the height is very big enough. So I'll reduce it to, let's say, 100 px. So 100 px. Then before the heading, I'll call the star, that is shift 8. Then I'm going to say margin is equal to 0 px. Then padding is equal to 0 px. Save this guy back to the code, then I'll refresh it. So I have something like this. So back to the course. Over here, I'm going to give test hyphen align to center. Okay, good. So let's see the output. So we have the header at the center. Then let's style the aside. So the next element is the aside. So I'm going to say aside. I'm going to call the aside. Then I'll give it a width of probably I'll give it a weight of, let's say, auto, the same thing. Then I'll give it a of mm, height of 50 px. Then I'll give it a background color of yellow. Then I'll give it a color of red. Then test align to center. Good. So I'll save this guy back to the code and refresh. So we have something like this. So I think the height is very, very, very small. So let's give it, let's say, 100 px, the same thing. Control S to save. Then can actually refresh. I think I did not save it. Control S, really, 100 px, no, not percent. Sorry, 100 px. Control S, then refresh the page. So I have the something like this. So I want to bring this guy here around this area. So the property I'm going to use is float. I'm going to float this to my left side. Okay, so I'll float this to my left side. So the output is going to be like this. Float score to left. So I'm going to have it like this. So let's increase the height and the width. So the height, I'll give it, I think 200 will be okay. 200. And the width should be, I think, 100%. Control S, then refresh page. So I think 50 will be half of the full width. So 50. So let's see. Good. So I have this particular section. So the next one we are going to deal with is the section. So the section is the next one. So I'll go back to my CSS over here. I'm going to call the section like this. Then I'm going to give a width of auto, a height of let's say 200 px. Then background color of green. Good. So test align center. So I'll save this guy, Control S, then I'll refresh the page so you can see the output. So I have the section over here. So the last thing we can do is the footer. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing, the same for the procedure. Footer, I'll call the footer, sorry, it's footer. Then we have width of auto, then a height of 200 px, then background as black. Okay. Then we have test align. Sorry, test align at center. Control S to save. Back. Then so we okay. Sorry. Let me use the test. The test should be white since we're having a background as black. So the test color should be color, not test color. So color should be white. Mhm. So you see how we've actually categorized our, our code into section so that we can make navigation very easy for us. Okay. So in the next episode, I'm going to do the same thing with. I'm going to achieve the same thing with IDs and classes, which I think I've already explained in a previous, audio. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment below. Bye bye. See you next time.